All right, we should be live any moment. And there we go. What's up, my YouTubian nation? This is Chris, and yes, you are seeing a third video today. It's one of those days. Some days I have nothing I want to talk about, and other days I just have a bunch I want to talk about. And sometimes it's actually due to my subscribers. So with that being said, I want to first welcome everybody to my channel. And of course, this is Bar911970. My name is Chris. It is 5:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, it is the 6th of December 2016. And if you haven't had the time to check out my other videos, both of them have been processed and up, ready for your viewing pleasures. So I hope you will watch them, share them, either thumb them up or thumb them down. And let's get into this one because I want to give credit to one of my subscribers. And if you ask a good question or statement, and it inspires me to make a video, I want to make sure I do a shout out. So this has to do with one of my subscribers. His name is William Forrest, and he made a comment earlier about microchipping, and I want to talk about this. His question was, how long do you think before they start making it mandatory to put chips in our hands? In other words, there have been people, plenty of Alex Jones type of people saying that eventually it's going to be mandatory where they'll implant chips. And they're already starting to do stuff like this. I mean, for example, if you own a bank credit card, which I keep telling people you really shouldn't do, these new credit cards come complete with a microchip implanted in the card. And you could always tell because it's got that little gold square and it's kind of raised up a little bit. That's a microchip. You want to disable it, just take a nail and nail it right through it. But they are already starting to do these things. Now, why do they do it? It's because we allow it. So the way I responded to his question was, and again, his question was, how long do you think before they start making it mandatory to put chips in our hands or in our brains or wherever? And I responded, who cares? I won't be one of the people that will allow it. Will you? So his response was, hell no, I won't allow it. I would never trust something like that in my body. So my response was, so then if everybody thought that way, that day will never come. So the point of this video, and when it comes to things like that, it only will happen if we choose to do nothing about it. So if you stand in line thinking this is the only choice, well, then you're allowing it to happen. I will never have an implant willingly placed inside me. I do not. You know how many credit cards I own that have that microchip? Zero. You want to know why? I don't own any credit cards. The only credit card I have is actually a bank card from my federal credit union, and it does not come with the government-issued spy chip. So they make it more convenient. So instead of having to, type in the numbers or actually, God forbid, swiping the card on those machines, you could just tap it because it's so more convenient, that extra 0.13ths of a second. So they use convenience, like I was saying in my other video about the video cameras where you can monitor your house live on camera on your cell phone. There are definitely corrupt people in this world that run these things, and they use the convenience because if they told you what they were really using it for, you wouldn't use them. So they got to make it like politicians, where they smile in front of the cameras and tell you everything that you want to hear and tell you only the benefits. And not only do they lie, they omit a lot of the truth. And then most of the people will say, oh, that's a great idea. Now, the person also responded, well, most people may just buy into that, the sleeping masses. And I agree. That's why our job is to enlighten people, to educate them, to inform them, especially when it comes to things like quote-unquote fake news. The fake news to me isn't channels that are trying to question what's going on. Fake news is like CNN, MSNBC, ABC, and yes, even Fox News, because they are listed as entertainment. They're not factual, investigative, journalistic integrity systems. So if you don't want microchips to be our future, and of course, if you said that 5 years ago, you'd be some paranoid crazy person. But as you could see, they have these things. There are plenty of videos out there that you could see where people have volunteered to allow themselves to be implanted. And they must not like this because I just got an error message on my screen. So I don't know if you could still hear me, but it says my video card and driver froze. So I guess the government and the NSA, who's listening on this very conversation, don't want these things out there. So hopefully you can hear me still. So I'm going to make this video not as long as I wanted to. So take out your credit cards, rip them up, get a federal credit union, and get their account card, which means you can only spend money that you have in their account. It's not run by the government. Don't allow these things. If you have a credit card with a microchip, smash that chip. Take a nail and a hammer and hammer through it and smash that chip, because they can monitor everything that you do. And if we stay complacent, that is how they are allowed to do this. So is there a potential future where everybody could be microchipped? There sure could be, but that's when people decide they don't want to say no. They don't want to resist. They don't want to consent. If you agree to it, then you create the future that they want. If you stand up and say no, and enough people say no, it doesn't happen. So that is the danger of people using fear to keep themselves silent, or using their silence because they don't want to rock the boat. Well, if you're on that boat, you're going to sink. The idea is not allow it to happen. So before this video gets cut off, I'm going to end it right now. So think for yourselves. Get out of the system. Stop feeding the system. And just because they say this is exactly what's going to happen, it only will come true if you decide to do nothing about it. And that's what they're counting on. So I will never have a chip implanted in me willingly, because I have a choice. And so do you. The question is, are you willing to make that choice? It may be sacrifice. It may be difficult. But you know what they say? Anything worth having is not easy. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoy your